As we continue our project with the F30 and the seat belts, got something pretty cool in the mail today. Figured I'd share it with you guys. And here's what it is. So it is bubble wrap. Oh, look at that. I see red. I see red, which is cool. There. See more red. I see more red. Getting pretty excited. So I'll talk about these guys in a minute, but this is who I use, and we'll go through the whole process after I put these belts in. So shout out to these guys. They did awesome work. Got the things back to me really quickly, which is very much appreciated. Right now we're going to put the seat belt for the passenger side in. It goes right over here. And what we're going to be doing is hooking up this connection to here. There's a T50 that goes through the hole here into these threads to secure it. Down at the bottom, we're going to be then taking the belt, putting it behind the guide, and then securing it up here with another T50. This is a T25 here, a T50, and a T50. So what I want to do first is I'll take a screwdriver and gently pop this connection up. Little lock on top of this wire, and then we will connect it to the belt like this. Push that down, now it secures it. Okay. So it sits down in here, but there's a little tab on it, so you'll notice this tab here goes right into that groove. Once you have that there, then you'll need to line up the threads. Get it going. I'm just going to kind of tack it in place for now where it needs to be. There's my T25. Start that. Now, when you take this, you can do it a couple different ways. You can take this whole guide out all the way if you want with the two bolts, or you just take one out like I did, slide it down out of the way, and then put it back. Either way you do, just keep in mind there is a plastic kind of retaining washer that is between the two metal pieces. So what I'm going to do is try to fit that back in there. There you go. test to make sure everything works. That's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. Next you want to put this piece of trim on, because when we hook this to the front seat, it has to come out of this hole. So slide this through here. What we're going to be doing is there's two tabs right here. Those go in the tabs up here. And then you've got these two posts, and just make sure those haven't come out. They'll be going into these holes right there. So what you have to do is kind of work it up, get in those grooves, under the headliner. Once you've got that in, you're going to have to, either by finger or trim tool, just remove the rubber seal on the outside. You want to get this piece up underneath the rubber door seal. Alright, it's pushed up there. Once it's there, you can line it up with the holes. And it should clip in. This side, you can see right here, hopefully the camera's capturing it, but that's where the hole is. So it's got to go up a little bit more. There we go. Now we're in the hole. There you go. Alright, next up, and we're almost done with this front belts. I've already done the first, or the driver's side. There's a T50 attaching this end to the seat. Okay, now final piece for this. Let's snap that to get it out of the way. Okay, you got a little tab here. That's going to slide up under this. And then you've got a few little clips that just need to clip down. So there it goes. Next up is to put the rear center seat belt in. And if you remember correctly, we had the nut that we left in there. We could find it later. So you simply just set that one in, find the appropriate socket. What I like to do is on these bolts, just hand tighten them first. That way you can feel if you're threading it on right. Last thing you want to do is just start cranking on it and cross thread them, because yeah, not a good situation. Quick note, be careful swinging the wrench around, because you're extremely close to glass and you don't want to have a situation. Okay, so that one is now tight, ready to go. There's another T50. And there's grooves right here that are going to go in the tab right there. Then it sits on a little spring, kind of just sits right in this hole where the foam is. So once that's in there, we are going to then thread that T50 back in there. There it goes. A little extension. Now again here, be careful. You're right by your back glass. Don't get crazy with the wrench and swing it up and like I just did, and take a chunk out of your glass. So. All right, belt 2 is now done. We'll move on to the third one. Carefully put it back there. And it looks to be engaged where it should be. So that's good news. Now let's just lift it up a little bit to plug the speaker in. Put a little light on the situation so I can see what I'm doing. And again, we have since all this plugged the battery back in. So the car does have power. And what I want to do is, and what I suggest you do, is test out the stereo connections. Make sure that the speakers are playing before you put it all back together again. So we're going to feed this belt through here. Okay. This looks all in place. Slide this into place. This is just held in with some clips, as you see, so put the top pieces in first, bend to the bottom. There we go. Now I'm going to fold this up and out of the way for now. All right, fader and balance both work for the rear speakers. So we'll turn that off. Okay, so that's a good check. So now we'll start putting these pins back in place. I'm just going to stick them in there for now. I'm not going to lock them down until I know the sides look good too. Put this back in place. Let's feed the belt through. Okay, so let's push this in. Goes just like that. Get this in that groove. So let's get that down in the groove. See how it just went in there nicely? And let's see if I can get a good view, but you see where that lines up, and that's starting to line up. So remember there was a pin back here, a little pin clip. I'm gonna push that one in here, push that one in there, push that metal one in, and then we're gonna need to move this plastic or the rubber weather seal around the outside of that. So let's do that. Get the light so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, everything's clipped in nicely. there. There it is. All right, so we've got the back dash back together again. I did the other side off camera because it's just the same exact thing. So next step I'm going to do now is get these out of the way, try to hold them out of the way long enough for me to put the rear seat in. So I'm going to, for now, I'm going to tuck these back here. Utilize these little anchor doors, just so they're not flapping back down when I'm trying to get the rear seat in, because that's I'm assuming that might be a pain to get in. So we're gonna put the back in first. There's 2 mounting points right here. There's clips in the back of the seat that these are gonna hit, and then down here by my foot, hopefully you guys can see where I'm looking. Down here is where 2 little wire hangers tuck in there, and those are the things that hold the seat on with these two 250s. Here's the hook I was telling you about. Right here, and then it goes back here. There's a little cavity that it hooks into. Yeah, right here. So we're gonna need to try to manipulate it and get it over there. It just kind of hangs on it. Actually, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Wow. Okay. Cool. So that went incredibly well. So you can see there's a piece right here my finger's on. It's a little wire that needs to tuck behind this metal piece that should be the same color as your body. So I am going to, I just lifted up on it a little bit, tucked it in, and pushed it back down in place. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. The back of the back seat is sitting where it needs to be. And I've got 2 T50 bolts to put in to anchor it down. Okay, again, there's a tab right there, goes into this hole. So you're gonna wanna put that in there like that. Line up the holes. So we are now ready for the back seat. Okay, so you just kind of push it back, and then it's just 2 anchors that needs to get down on. That one's on. All right, that one's on. So the rear seat is in. Okay, so we've got a final couple more things to go, and we're almost done. So what we want to do is I'll do one side on camera. I'll just finish the rest of it off camera because it's exactly the same. We've got to put the B-pillar trim back on. That'll hide this. So what we're going to do is there's 2 tabs up here. They slide up into that. This hooks on to the upper trim piece is already there, and then you've got 2 of these pin clips. They just line up those holes there. We're going to want to tuck this edge up under this trim piece, and then that trim piece is already off. So the final 2 things on each side. is the B-pillar, and then there's trim in the front. So let's do this real quick, and then like I said, I'll do the other side off camera as not to bore you guys anymore. So that just slides straight up and should be able to line up or feel where those holes are. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to tuck this first, because I didn't remove this back trim piece, which may have made it a little easier to get back together at the beginning. Okay, so once I tucked that under, I was able to move it over, found the hole for that, and just like everything else, you run your finger along here, pull that rubber weather seal on, and that piece is on. And then we will continue to the front and make sure it's lined up there. Again, same thing. A little light on here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just pulling this rubber strip with my finger. Again, you can use your finger or a trim tool. Trim tool's in the back. The finger is right next to me, so I'll be using my finger. I'm just moving out. Don't pull it too much. I'm just kind of walking it out. You don't want to damage it or stretch it, so I'm just quickly walking it out. There you go. And so last piece, once I got this all done, we're going to put this piece. Keep in mind this piece goes actually over the weather stripping like this. It doesn't go under it. So what you want to do is you want to line up these notches here. Put a little light on them so you can see those little notches there. Line those up with these 4 brown plastic clips, and then I push in and I try to kind of bend up a little bit with my, I put my palm on it and bend up a little bit with my fingers, so you're kind of flexing it and you're forcing the clips on there. This one. Okay, so that's, this whole side's finished. Thanks a lot for joining this video, watching me do this. There's probably going to be breaking this up into 2 videos. One's going to be the actual taking everything out, and then the other one's going to be putting it all back in. A lot of the same information's in both videos, but you'll be able to get to see the black seatbelts and then the new red ones. Want to send a very big thank you to Safety Restore. They turn this stuff around super quick. They've got a 24-hour turnaround, and they weren't joking. They got the seatbelts, my seatbelts that I sent into them, and less than 24 hours after I got the email notification saying that they got it, they sent another email notification saying they were shipping it back, and they came really quick. So that was awesome. They specialize in seatbelt repair services and airbag modules and crash data codes. But they also do custom seatbelt colors, which is what I had them do. I had them replace my perfectly good seatbelt in black with the red webbing. So I guess they have a lifetime warranty. I'm going to mention that here. Also, I've got the laptop out because the communication that they used via the web was just amazing. So I spoke to some folks there. They set everything up and gave me a link for me to pay. Went in there, checked everything out on the order, paid for everything, and then from there it was, all the communication was handled over email. I shipped it to them, let them know it was coming. They sent an email saying that they got it. They sent an email saying that they were going to ship it back because it's done. I got an email with a tracking number so I could actually track it to my doorstep. So everything went great, and so hopefully you guys like it. If you don't, it's not for everybody. I understand that. A lot of people are going to think it's way too riser to put different color seat belts in a car. I liked it the way it kind of sets off the red from the Sport line. Do me a favor and like and subscribe to the video, and leave any comments you have for the video below. Let me know what you think, if you like it, if you don't like it. Tell me if the video was good or if there's things I can improve on. Hit that notification bell, then you'll be notified of any other videos I have going up. So thank you very much.